Howdy folks, welcome back to Faded Paint Garage. I'm going to do a little more work on the 56 today. So we've got most of the parts in the front end replaced, got an alignment, but it's still got a lot of play going down the road. So I've bought a remanufactured steering box. So we're going to see if we can get this thing fired up today and back in the shop, and we'll tear into that and see what we find. All right, we're all lifted up in the air, got the jack stands under it, so we're good to get going here. So I've been putting this project off for a little while, and I'll show you why. This is the rebuilt steering box here. For you guys doing this, it did not come with this fitting right here. I had to buy that. I don't remember the thread. If I can maybe find the link, I can throw it down there in the bottom if anybody needs that. But the one that's on there maybe would fit, but I didn't want to take it off, so I put a new copper wash under there and put that fitting on there. That's just the return line, but it does take a special thread. It's kind of a funky fitting. But anyway, the reason I've been putting this off is this is a little bit different style. Should be a direct replacement, except this one has a bolt-on cap, which is fine, and it's got this adjustment on the top here, but the one that's in the truck, this doesn't stick up nearly so far, and my oil filter line is right on top of that. So I'm not sure what all kind of hassle I'm going to have doing that, but I wanted to make sure I had some time to have this thing broke apart for a while before I do this. So here's the one we're replacing. It's down in there. It's kind of hard to see, but that bolt-on piece is right here, and it's directly underneath that line. Now I can take and should be able to turn this counterclockwise, so it's not like that, but then I don't know if that's going to start leaking, and I have to take the whole fitting apart and come up with something else. This could be quick and easy or not. The other thing is I'm not sure I've got the right puller to get the pitman arm off of the steering box, so that'll be one of the first things we need to tackle, because I'm sure that'll be easier to do while it's on the truck, just because I have leverage to push and pull and put the puller and stuff on. I don't know, we'll see. And then hopefully this joint and stuff will fit directly on this replacement, which I don't see why it shouldn't. But I don't see too many issues. Again, this should be a direct replacement, and so we'll just tear into it and see what happens. And that is an 1 5/16" socket, if you need to know that. And it's nice to have a great big impact gun. So this is a ball joint puller. Let's see if that'll work. Looks like it should. think what I might do is keep some pressure on this and then go get my heat gun. See if I can't warm this thing up. Make it come apart maybe a little easier. You know what I just remembered? I bought a brand new pitman arm. I don't need to take this one off. I just need to unhook it down here. That'll make it easier. Yeah, so I remember it's going to replace this because there's a ball joint in the end of it. So this is kind of it's a wearable part. And the replacement's pretty cheap. So we'll do this instead. And then we'll see if the hammer trick works to disconnect that. Usually you can whack that with a hammer and they'll pop apart. Not all of it. I've had pretty good luck with it. That's if you could hit one of the beams, which I can't. I don't have a good angle here. I'll try it from the back. Well, that ain't working. Well, we'll try it with the proper tool. See what that gets us. Well, I don't like the looks of that. Pop out of there. Not the way I want. Yeah, you're probably not supposed to use the impact gun with these things either, but well, we'll put a little heat on it, I guess. What else we can tear up now? Little heat does wonders. All right, on to the next battle. So I was able to get that line turned, loosened technically, counterclockwise just a hair to clear this bolt that's sticking up. I had to take the steering box back out to get a wrench up from underneath to get a good bite on that to twist it. But so hopefully that doesn't leak after this. If it does, I'll have to take all this, the feed lines out to the remote oil filter and come up with something different there. But I think we're okay. I got the steering box torqued back in. There's 3 bolts that mount this to the frame, and I found torque specs 80 to 100 on the internet, so I torqued it to 90. That probably should be fine. My return line's a little bit short, so I've got a little bit more of that hose, so I'll get that one removed and get a longer one put on there. So basically, these fittings are a little bit closer to the rear of the truck with this different style box, but otherwise, I'm assuming this point here isn't different to where it affects my distance here. We should be good. But even if I do, I've got some more of this D shaft that goes in between there. I can make another piece if I had to. I don't think I'll have to. I don't have to. Excuse me. I don't think I'll have to do that, but we'll worry about that when we get there. So I'll get another line made here. Get this one put back on. I've got plenty of slack in the pressure line to get back in there, and we'll start putting things back together. I don't have the pitman arm down there tightened up yet. I've just got it everything kind of loosely assembled, the pitman arm and then the ball joint or the rod end to the tie rod is just loose right now. So I wanted to get all this done before I did that because I didn't take the box back out again. I don't want to have to pop that all apart again. That went back together a lot easier than I thought it would. I don't know why I think everything's going to be difficult. Sometimes it's not. So I went in and put Loctite on all these like I did the first time. Since, driving down the road, that thing were to shake apart, you'd be in a pretty bad spot. So Loctite it all tightened down. I'll be interested to see how straight I got my steering wheel put back. Not the end of the world if it's not. So this all looks good. I think that's it for the top. Lines are all connected. Got clearance there. Steering box is tight. That's all tightened up. So we'll go underneath and get the pitman arm to steering box and then the tie rod end or whatever end on the pitman arm tightened up, that guy there, and put some grease in it. And I need to look up what the torque specs are on that 1 5/16 nut. I'll do that real fast. I don't even know if I have something to torque that. I might just whack it with the big gun, or put a Loctite on it too. Okay, I got the pitman arm torqued down. I found some varying specs for that, so I went to 185, I think, and then 40 pounds on the tie rod end. And then I started filling the fluid up and ran the truck for a little bit and turned the steering wheel all the way to the right and left, a few times and shut it off. And then we got a nice little volcanic explosion out of the power steering pump here. So it just was shooting power steering fluid all over the place. So I learned the correct procedure how to do this. And that, although several online when I was looking up after the fact, it said they've done that before with success. The best way to do this, and what I've subsequently have done, is I disconnected the coil and then for 20 seconds just turn the key over, just turning the engine over while you run the steering wheel back and forth. So start turning the ignition, turn it a quarter both ways, then a half turn both ways, and then full lock both ways, and then top off the fluid, do it again, rinse and repeat. So I've done that several times. That seems to have bled all the air out of it. So I should have known better. I don't know. I don't remember having that problem when I put this together the first time, but now I'm kind of wondering if I did and I just forgot. Anyway, I made a bit of a mess, but I've cleaned that up. While I had the truck up in the air, it'd been a little while since I changed the oil, so I went ahead and did that, which was actually kind of a concern for me because with this 5 liter sitting in here, maybe I'll show you a second. Maybe it don't matter, but this has 2 plugs in it. You got a rear sump and a front sump on these oil pans. The rear sump's easy to get at. The front sump sits above this Chrysler K-member with not a lot of room, but I was able to get an extension in from the front, get that plug out. So I was that was actually easier than I thought it was going to be, so thankfully. And then, of course, the oil filter's out here, which is super easy to get to. So far, no leaks on that, but it's been 5 seconds. I haven't run it enough to tell if loosening that is going to make a difference. So I think I'm about ready to lower this down, but I'm going to go over some other things and before I do that. But if that's all clear, we'll set it down on the ground and go for a little test drive today. See how it drives the new steering box.
All right, we're out on the road and it's feeling really good. I'm not feeling any play in it now, where I had probably 3 inches before. This feels really good. I think that should be the last of my steering problems. Well, I shouldn't say that, but definitely much better. I developed a new rattle under the dash. It's driving me nuts. I'll have to track that down at some point, but no, it's handling this old road real good. Taking up the speed here. I think that speedometer's off. I think I'm going a hell of a lot faster than 60. I need to put my GPS on. It's needing serviced. It's a little wonky. But no, I'd say we're good. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.